Bannon. And 3, the service industry is having a hard time hiring and keeping workers. Advocates say the best way forward is to pay those workers more and do away with New York's 2-tiered minimum wage for tipped employees. WCBS's Steve Burns spoke with Steve Scott and Michael Wallace on the Afternoon Roundup.
Steve, you visited several restaurants in Manhattan today that are paying their workers above the minimum wage. What did you hear from those owners?
Yeah, guys, the message from these owners is that paying workers more has led to less volatility, less turnover. They've largely been immune from the severe staffing shortage a lot of parts of the service industry are seeing right now. You see the signs all over the city from restaurants that are now closed during part of the week, or they have more limited hours. These places say business has started to pick up, and workers are now also picking up more hours and more money because they're making 15 or 20 bucks an hour plus tips.
Steve, what is it about how the law is set up right now that's created this disparity?
Well, New York is one of 43 states that still has 2 minimum wages, one for tipped workers and one for everyone else. The call from advocates who led this tour today, the group called One Fair Wage, is for New York to eliminate that second category of minimum wage and just have everyone start at 15 bucks an hour. They say working based off of tips has led to all kinds of instability. Workers have had to put up with harassment so they don't lose out on tip money. Obviously, some restaurants have already raised wages on their own, but the advocates say the law needs to be changed to create a more level playing field across the board. This wouldn't be unprecedented. Back at the beginning of 2020, then Governor Cuomo moved some workers like nail salon techs and car wash attendants out of that tipped category and into the regular wage system. These advocates say Governor Hochul can do the same thing for restaurant workers through an executive order. We have reached out to the governor's office. They tell me the change is under evaluation.
How about lobbying groups for the restaurant industry, Steve? Where do they stand on this?
Yeah, they are very much not on board here. The National Restaurant Association came out against a similar proposal on the national level earlier this year. They make the case that with this tip allowance, some workers are making more now than they otherwise would. So this plan might actually mean some workers losing out on money. But the larger point they make is that a lot of restaurants simply cannot afford this. They operate on razor-thin margins, and even more of them could end up closing.
Steve, thank you. WCBS reporter Steve Burns.